And now these people are also going into Mexico and implemented anti-gang laws, because now Central American gang members are going into Mexico to flee the mass persecution of vigilantism, death squads in Central America.
Un ejemplo claro de la censura y la opresión en la que quiere sumergir al Salvador por salir y reclamar lo que no me parece mi derecho. Me acusan de terrorista. ¿Ah? Terrorista.
We see that many individuals now are being targeted not only by local law enforcement once they're being deported, but also vigilante groups that are taking action on these individuals that have been dehumanized and look like monsters.
What is seemingly on the surface a group of misfits engaged with guns, engaged in criminal activity, in fact could, if gone unchecked, establish itself as a threat to stability. This is why we are attacking the MS-13. Did that answer your question, sir?
الله ليكن الله ليكن يا سعاد ورغية يا سعاد ورغية جيبوا ليك ولا يا جيبوا ليك ولا هاتوا ليك ولا يا فيتامين وشهية يا شباب.
You mind shutting the camera, please?
Why is that?
What's that?
Why is that?
Why is that? Because I would just like to know if you could shut the... Now, if you don't mind shutting off the vehicle, please, and come out, please, real quick.
Do I have to get out of the car?
Well, so I can run checks on you, sir.
Do I have to get out of the car?
Either that, or I'm going to extract you out of the car, sir, because you're impeding me doing my job as far as finding out your immigration and running checks on you. I don't know if you're an act felon, sir. I don't know what you're...
Is there any reason to suspect that I am? What is your job?
Our job here, okay, our job here, as far as this, is to see your immigration, okay?
Ain't that like Nazi Germany, where we have to show our papers?
No, it's not, sir.
Ain't that what we're against?
Well, come on out real quick and I'll show you it on paper. If you don't mind coming out real quick. Either that, if you don't mind shutting off the vehicle, ma'am, okay, I'm going to take you out. It's one of the two, sir.
Why would you do that?
You're impeding the federal checkpoint.
You accusing me of anything?
There's no difference that tells me as of right now that you're any different than anybody else that we've caught, okay? That we have found drugs in the trunk because they've been uncooperative or what have you. And there is nothing for me right now to believe that you are no different than them.
How many times have you been stopped and frisked?
Probably like 20 times for the year.
20?
Yeah.
15, 20 times.
My friends get frisked all the time. All the time.
So they frisk me, they check my bag, make sure I have anything. They was like, oh, we just stopped you because you look like somebody who robbed or stole around here earlier before.
I fit the same profile.
They said I looked like someone.
He fit the description.
I fit the description.
I looked like a potential gangbanger.
It's somebody I've had fit the description of somebody else that was doing something. Brownsville, East New York, Bedford-Stuyvesant, Crown Heights, Williamsburg is like the biggest hit sections of Brooklyn where they really harass people at.
The police have a generalization of black men as far as, okay, do-rag, pants sagging, Jordans. That's like 75% of like everybody.
My rights was violated.
Belittled.
I simply can't just walk down the street without being accused for something that I have nothing to do with.
It's getting to a point, they're getting used to it now. When you see cops, you automatically know they're going to search you. If your pants off your behind, they're going to search you. But every kid's not a criminal. Every kid not doing nothing bad. But that's what they do.
We have many issues that relate to both the Latino and the African descent here in the United States. We understand that the immigration movement had not really had real success in bringing together the African American community into the immigration debate. They have never been invited into the discussion. And talking a larger scale, like with Families for Freedom in New York, with what's happening with the Haitian community. But not only that, we're talking to the Cambodian community in Long Beach about the issues of what Cambodia is going through. And now Vietnam, that in January this year signed a Repatriation Act, that now Vietnam is going to be accepting over 1,500 criminalized Vietnamese. So we understand that this goes beyond the issue of just Latino.
The fact of the matter is, I said it's often easier said than done, and sometimes we may have overall interests that gel together pretty well, but sometimes our particular interests may not gel so much, and at those times is when it becomes difficult to hold you know, a common and united front, whereas those who we're fighting against, you know, their interest is making money and capitalism and white supremacy, and that's not to say that a black or brown person can't be a white supremacist or work in the interests of white supremacy. You know, they tend to be pretty clear on what their interests are. They also tend to plan things out very well. You know, like what's happening in D.C. with gentrification, for instance. You know, this didn't just happen overnight. You know, some of us might have got activated overnight because we noticed that we were the only ones left on our block or something like that, but they laid out the plans for this city probably 20 years ago. And none of us were at the table. And any of us who were invited to the table, we were just invited to the table so they could tell us what was happening. It's difficult because, you know, we don't, you know, not to sound defeatist, but, you know, we don't always have the resources at our disposal. A lot of us do volunteer work. You know, we are working with the time that we have and the money that we have. You know, they get paid to do what they're doing. You know, those congressmen up there, the city council people, the police, you know, whoever, they get paid to do that. You know, we wouldn't have no volunteer police force, or I'm just going to enforce the status quo because I like it. You know, people do that because they get $50,000 benefits and they don't got to worry about being locked up. You know, so it's not, you know, so easy to work against this as it is for you know, the system to work against us. The system is you know, the status quo is established. You know, it's been around and developing for 300-400 years. I think there's power in all solidarity. You know, I think you know, black and the black and the brown definitely have a natural alliance because their land was stolen and we were stolen from our land and brought to work on what used to be their land. For the sake of white supremacy and capitalism. So anytime you have a common enemy, you have a common interest. You know, but white supremacy and capitalism is not just a common enemy to the black and the brown. It's a common enemy to humanity. You know, this is inhumane. You know, what's taking place here over the past 400 years. So anybody, be they black, brown, white, red, yellow, you know, Martian or whatever, you know, anybody who has a sense of humanity and right and wrong and fair and just should have a problem with this.
من حالاتك ولايا من حالاتك ولايا زرعوه في الهملايا وفي سهول ألبانيا شحنوه للسعودية والطير أمريكية والخام ربانية والخام درفورية والصنعة سودانية والعلبة يابانية والمركدة الأصلية والمركدة الأصلية والمركدة الأصلية والمركدة الأصلية حلوة الملحتة والماركة كيكة ولية 200 وزايد المية 200 وزايد المية حلوة الملحتة قلية بالكول عسلية الرخصات دولية مجازة قانونية والثروة درفورية من الله لنا هدية كولنا أهملناه ما ضفنا طولنا كولنا أهملناه ما ضفنا طولنا الليلة جيهناهم شكينا فندقناهم جزينا لقطناهم جزينا لميناهم في لوش عبيناهم غطينا خمرناهم عجتنا لخبطناه عاجلنا لخبطناه في لوشة شريناه شرينا شرشرناه صرصرناه صرينا صرصرناه